You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome to Living Full Out Show. My name is Nancy Solari, and today we're going to be talking about regrets. It's interesting, we have so many things that may haunt us in our life, things we could have done differently, things we could have said differently, but we sometimes have those regrets that sabotage us, hold us back from being able to thrive and really live our life full out. So today we're going to be tackling those regrets and getting you into a place where you are able to harness the confidence and the self-esteem and really a support team to get past those regrets in your life. We're going to be taking your calls. That number is 800-333-0001. We'd really enjoy hearing from you. We're also going to be joined by our inspirational guest, Mike Panus, shortly, and he's going to tell with us about the regrets that he has drinking and driving and killing one of his really good friends. It's a very touching story, and we can learn a lot from him because we all have done it, and we want to prevent those in our lives from being hurt or doing that ourselves. And we very much like to hear from you on this topic. If you need resources, feel free to reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. Again, that's connect@livingfullout.com. Also remember that you can catch our show by going to livingfullout.com, go to the radio show page. All of our episodes will be waiting there for you. Also, you can catch our show on Alexa, if you want to go there, or iTunes, or even if you have an app on your iPhone or Android. We're here to support you every day, wherever you are, in living your life full out. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How can we help you today?
So, basically, I have these championships coming up next week, and I want to stay focused on achieving the goals without getting caught up in the stress and being overwhelmed, because I'm so close to being where I've always seen myself being. Literally, that is the pivotal moment of what could make or break everything. So I just want to make sure, how can I not get consumed in the pressure and, just still remember to enjoy what I love from the beginning?
Oh, I love that you are asking this question. Couple thoughts I have. Number one, do things throughout your entire trip and the competition days to ground yourself. What I mean by that is try to take a moment and look around and give yourself a physical gesture that will ground you and remind you of that moment. So let's just say that you're at the competition day. You're looking around, you're taking it in, it's exciting, it's everything you've ever wanted. Try clasping your hands together in front of you or maybe behind you. Something that you can replicate as a physical gesture again, always to remind you of how proud and excited you felt in that moment. Sometimes people will pinch their finger. Sometimes people will do a snap. Sometimes whatever physical moment that you can have to take a snapshot, not just visually what you see, but also something physical. So if you're ever stuck in that stressful environment, maybe you're doing an interview, maybe you're in front of the press, maybe you're competing, and you're like, gosh, I need it. I need that energy. I need to remind myself of why I'm here, why I love this. You'll have that physical moment to take yourself back. And the other thing too is don't be afraid to turn to those that you trust in that circle of supporters to say, hey, can I just bring my anxieties to you for a second? A lot of times we keep things in our mind and we fester or we get nervous. And if it's in our mind and we don't physically get it out of our body, you might physically be competing and exerting energy and getting it out that way, but that doesn't clear your mind. So if you're excited, tell somebody. If you're nervous, tell somebody. Clear your mind so that you can really be focused on your vision. And then lastly is your vision at hand. Close your eyes right before you're about to compete, maybe the night before your competitions, and visualize yourself 1 year from now, 5 years from now, where you want to be. It's interesting how in life, when we're meant to do something or be somebody, it's like a magnet in our stomach. It kind of pulls us along. Even if you get off course from time to time, just know it's going to be okay because that magnet will keep pulling you along. Is that something you can do?
That was, just what I needed to hear.
All
Really,
right. And do you
just
think
what
you're
I
going to,
needed to hear?
and are you going to win?
Yes, I am.
You're going to win. You're going to win because you're living
Absolutely.
full out. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So go out there, do your best, and remember, that's all you can ever do is your best. Okay? Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I love that she called
Bye.
in on that topic because the thing is we all have those anxieties in front of us, right? We don't know, are we making the right decision? Do I go right? Do I go left? Do I go straight? What do I do? I'm so glad that she called in on that question. In fact, we have another caller on the line. We'll go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show. Hi, welcome to the show. Oh, looks like we lost our caller. We'll be getting them back. So until then, as we're going through the show today, while we're talking about regrets, I just want to make sure that you realize that the past is in the past. You can't redo it. It's not even worth festering over because it's already come and gone. But you do have the ability to cherish today, be in the moment, cherish those winning moments like our caller is going to do when she goes to compete, or cherish the people that you're around, celebrate those milestones, birthdays, anniversaries, times that you do really well in your career, or you've taken on a hobby and you're learning to play guitar and you do it successfully. Whatever it is, it's about enjoying today and really thriving in the moment. And that's how you overcome the regrets from your past. Now, I'm getting word from our producer. We have that caller back. Hello, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm not sure what happened there.
Oh, that's okay. We can hear you loud and clear. What's going on? How can we help you?
So I'm a student, and I find that I go in and out of phases where I feel motivated or that motivation is somewhat lagging. And I know that I need to be in my motivation mode all the time in order to succeed. So I'm trying to figure out ways that I can keep that motivation up without losing it here and there.
You know what? I am raising my hand. I am right there with you. And I'm sure the audience is nodding because the thing is, we're all there. And I have a couple thoughts for you. You can get overwhelmed by thinking that you need to be at level 10 all the time. I really want you to allow yourself, even in your own personal moments, to allow yourself to go down a couple notches just so you can breathe. Exhale and really let go of the tension. Do you ever give yourself that personal time?
I do, but I feel like I sometimes feel guilty for that.
And why do you feel guilty?
I think it's just like a personal struggle that I feel like I always need to be 100% all the time.
Okay. And you know what? That's really honest. That's really fair. But think about it this way. Why do we sleep? We sleep because we need to rest our mind, our eyes, right? We need to kind of hit the reset button, recharge, right? Sleeping
Right.
is similar to when you take a break. Take half an hour, veg out, watch something on TV, listen to music, talk to a friend on the phone about nothing related to what you're working on, but just chatting. That is similar to sleep in that it's recharging you. You should not feel guilty for that. Now, if that phone call becomes a 3-hour phone call, start to feel guilty, okay? If you veg out all day and you're watching TV and you've lost a lot of time, well, there you go. I'm not saying you do that, but you do have to find these moments that are yours and yours alone, because it's when we're by ourselves that we can really dream big. That's when we can kind of flush out the, what should I do? What should I do? Because if we're at level 10 all the time, we can't decompress. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So even if you can't do a half an hour, I want you to promise me that you'll give yourself 10 minutes. Okay. So just take into consideration today, what is something that you can do today for 10 to 30 minutes just for you? You're not at level 10. You're secretly at level 5. What can you do?
Reading is always a good idea.
Okay. Reading's good. So let's start there.
Go for a drive.
What was the second one?
Go for a drive.
Go for a
Try to
drive?
clear my head.
Okay. And by yourself, right? Do those things
Right.
today. Give yourself permission, say, and only do it for 10 minutes, 30 minutes at the most, and then go right back to level 10. But the thing is
Okay.
I think you feel as though you're gypping yourself. I think you're giving so much of yourself away to all these other endeavors that you're feeling like, hey, where's my time? Why can't I just have a moment? Give yourself those moments. Okay?
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And everybody will be coming right back after this break with our inspirational guest, Mike Panus. Great story. You don't want to miss it. This is the Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari. Today we're talking about regrets and getting them out of our lives, out of our minds, so we can thrive and live full out. We'll be right back after this break.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. With Nancy's expertise, you'll learn how to embrace your potential and strive for success. If you have a question or need further support, send us an email at connect@livingfullout.com. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome to the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and today we're talking about regrets, and they can be small or they can be large in our life, and without the ability to let them go or to nurture them and to heal from them, we're unable to live full out. But that's why we bring you inspirational guests each week, people that have walked through the fire, they've healed from the pain, and serve as great examples to how we can overcome regrets in our life. So I very much like to welcome today Mike Panus, who sadly was drinking and driving, and a good friend of his was killed when they were in a car accident. And he's going to share with us a little bit about the accident, but how he healed from that, how he overcame those regrets, and how he's gone on today to really motivate others to let those regrets go. So I'd very much like to welcome Mike to the show.
Hey, good morning, Nancy. Thank you so much.
Oh.
It's quite an honor. I'm very humbled to have the opportunity to be on your show, so thank you.
Well, thank you. And this is a really hard topic to talk about. I mean, there's people who drink and drive, sadly, every day, but they're not out there talking about it. They're not out there educating people. So I respect your courage and the fact that you want to give that legacy to that friend of yours in helping other people to not make that decision. So really, you're a great example of living full out. But I want to take our audience back to 2005 February, when your accident occurred. What was the circumstances of that night? Why were you out drinking?
I was just a senior in college, excited that I was actually going to graduate college. I had served my country in the Marine Corps, and I never ever thought I'd ever even graduate college. So just doing what most college students do and going out and on their free time when they're not in class, just enjoying life and going out, having a few drinks and just dancing and having fun. So yeah, that was just kind of like a regular occurrence for myself and my friends at that time in my life.
Now, on this particular evening, when you had been out drinking, did you give any consideration to, oh, gosh, I should call a cab, or I really shouldn't be the one driving. Can anyone else drive besides me? Or did you not even think about it?
Not even a thought. It was just something that was. Something that was just like trained in my mind that I had done it before and made it home safely, and just never ever really thought about the consequences. Even though we're all told growing up, when we're younger, and sometimes it just really doesn't hit home until something really traumatic or painful happens to a person.
Yeah. And for that particular accident, what were the circumstances? What caused you to get into that incident that day?
I just think it was obviously being under the influence of alcohol was completely the first, reason why that accident happened. If I wasn't drinking, I should have been going slower, should have never even been driving. I mean, alcohol plays the complete role in that tragic night.
Mm-hmm. Now, you did slide on black ice, which anybody who's driven on ice before knows that even when you're not drinking, that can be a tricky situation. But in hindsight, you really felt like black ice or no black ice, if you hadn't been drinking, the accident wouldn't have occurred? Is that kind of what you play in your mind even today?
I just take full responsibility in being under the influence of alcohol. I just know I should never have been driving that night. Yeah, just.
And it's interesting because we're also trained nowadays to put on our seatbelts. You didn't have your seatbelt on that night, but your friend did. And why was it, how is it that you survived, but your friend did not?
It's just pretty amazing how I'm still actually sitting here on the phone with you and able to go out and share such a powerful story. Every little thing that night, the way it played out, definitely could have resulted in a different outcome. And I always normally wore my seatbelt, but for some reason it's kind of a long story, but I didn't like the shirt that I had on that night. So I went inside my last friend's house that I picked up and went inside and exchanged shirts with him. I saw a better shirt. And when I dropped him off, I went inside to get my shirt and return his shirt. And I just guess I was in a hurry and didn't snap on my seatbelt. And literally less than 10 minutes later was when the accident occurred. So it's just how things played out that night.
And how was it that you were able to not get injured, but your friend did?
Oh no, I was injured.
Oh. I mean, in terms of death, like how is it that you survived? Like,
I can't really control. Nancy, I just completely feel that I was left on this earth to, serve a purpose much larger than I could even comprehend. It's been a long over 13 years since that night, and the way the things worked out and me not having my seatbelt on, it's just.
Well, didn't you slip out of the car though? I mean, wasn't there? You had an opportunity to survive that your friend didn't have because you didn't have your seatbelt on.
I guess I can't answer that question. In a very traumatic accident, I can't really say if I did have probably if I had my seatbelt on, I probably would be dead. Yeah. And it's unbelievable how, like when you see, photographs of my vehicle, there's not even a scratch on the passenger side of the vehicle. And my friend Rich passed away. And it's just kind of, it's almost it's just hard to comprehend, really. Yeah. It's really hard to comprehend.
Yeah.
I was in a coma. I had life-threatening injuries myself. So it wasn't like I was completely healthy.
Yeah.
after that accident.
Well, and it's interesting, Mike, because there are some times in situations when somebody's drinking and driving that they do walk away without a scratch. We hear about that, but we also hear about times when, such in your case, you had these injuries. And so after the accident happened, what I want to go into, because we're going to be going to a break here shortly, is I want to go into, what were the first memories that you had? I know you had a brain injury and other injuries to your ribs and so forth. But what was the first recollection that you had that you had been in this accident?
The earliest, obviously, because I had a brain injury, I don't recall everything. It's all kind of a blur. I kind of learned everything through my family and friends. And I just, I remember being in the hospital and, my family and friends telling me that Rich had passed away. But then, a couple hours later, I'd, kind of be like, oh, man, I'm struggling here. I hope Rich is doing better than me. So I had a really tough time comprehending everything and just realizing what I had caused, when my brain injury healed was I was in a very low place in my life.
That seems like when the real work began at that moment, all the healing.
Yeah.
So I want you to stay with us, Mike, because we're going to go pick up your story after this break. And again, everybody listening, this could be any of us in Mike's position. He's courageously sharing his experience with us. So definitely stay with us. We're talking about regrets today and how to overcome those and heal from them. So stay with us. I am Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're talking about regrets and how do we let those go? How do we heal from them? And how do we allow ourselves to live full out and enjoy life, giving ourselves the permission to do so? Our inspirational guest today, Mike Panus, was no stranger to needing to let go of regrets. And even today, as so many of us do, we need to kind of work on them and remind ourselves that, again, we are okay. We can live full out. We can remember those that have been lost. So I'd very much like to bring back Mike to the show.
Thank you, Nancy.
Absolutely. And Mike, you have been through a journey that not everyone has experienced. All of our life experiences are different. But when you were in recovery, your own physical recovery, and you'd found out about your friend Rich's passing, at that moment, where did your mind go to? Was your mind more fixated on the need to heal? I mean, obviously you had rib injuries and a brain injury and so much to deal with in your own personal healing. Or how did you handle the emotional effects of when it really did finally set in? I know there's this kind of moments where you didn't really comprehend it, but when it did finally sink in about Rich's passing, how did you manage both of those?
Yeah, as much as I can remember, the best I can remember is earlier on, like I just was not the same person, the confident person that I was before. Like I was afraid. Like I live in a small community. A lot of people knew my friend Rich and I, and like I just really didn't want to even go anywhere and kind of face anyone. Like I was scared of what everyone thought of me, and just really every time I'd be looking over my shoulder. But I can't thank the people, my family, Rich's family, my friends, all of our friends, and people in the community that have supported me like throughout this journey. Like I can't thank each and every one of them, and I would never even be here today if it wasn't for all the support that I've gotten. So
yeah,
I just immediately knew that I was out speaking to like a high school less than a year after the accident. I just kind of like something came over me that I just had a bigger purpose in life. And I've always been a person that was able to speak in front of audiences. And I just knew I had an important, yeah.
You took the pain and you channeled it for good, which again is really what living full out is about. Now, I know the day finally came when you were out on a fishing trip, but the authorities came to your home. And this is really when a whole new chapter of, confronting what had happened began. What were the circumstances of your arrest on that day?
I just, obviously, like I knew, like I was under the influence of alcohol, the tragedy that I caused. I was still trying to piece together my life. I had to go back to college and physically and mentally healing. And my dad had called me on my cell phone and told me that 2 state police had just issued a warrant for my arrest for second-degree manslaughter with a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol, facing up to 10.5 years in prison. So then the whole legal process began, and that just, it was, I'd never been to prison, I'd never been arrested, and it was just something that, it was quite overwhelming.
There's so many shows on TV now, Law and Order, SVU, all these law shows, and our audience might get a peekaboo at what a trial setting might look like. But to actually have experienced it, sitting there, I know every day goes by and you think of Rich and you are living yourself a purposeful life in his name and in your own. But in that moment, I can't even imagine what it was like getting sentenced and really confronting his family and what you had done.
Yeah. All I knew, Nancy, was I just wanted the healing and forgiveness of Rich's family and friends. Like I still say the same. I say the same messages before I go to bed every night, and hope for that. And I did, and I was able to meet with his family. And I would not even be doing this radio show or even being a speaker if it wasn't for their approval. Like everything that I've done, I've always confronted them because I would never want to cause any more pain, and I just want to give back and keep his scholarship foundation alive and carry on Rich's legacy. That's pretty much what it's all about.
That's what it comes down to. Exactly. You're living for him and for you. And how long were you sentenced for?
I was sentenced to 5.5 years in prison.
5.5 years. Okay. And what was prison like for you?
I don't get into detail much about it. Like even in my speech, I just say it sucked. It was terrible. I was around people that it's just a different lifestyle. It's just a completely different lifestyle. People that they don't follow the rules in prison, and here I am. I'm trying to follow the rules so I can get out of prison, and it's just like I got looked at like I was a little bit different than everybody. It was just very, very foreign to me.
You definitely had that moment of I don't belong here, right? And
no, Nancy, no, not at all. It's not that I don't belong there. Anyone that breaks the law and commits a crime belongs in prison. It's not that mentality. It's being able to be a chameleon and blending in a tough environment. So anyone that commits a crime and breaks the law and convicted, they're deserving of the punishment that the judge gives them. So I was accepting of the punishment, and everything happened the way it was supposed to happen, in order for all of us to heal together to make the story that it is today.
Well, you're a good man, Mike, and I applaud your courage to stand up and admit that and to do the right thing and to do your time and all of that. At what point did you start to connect with Rich's family?
I know you and I spoke off the air a little bit, and Rich and I's friendship was we knew each other our whole lives, kind of played sports against one another, and he went to our rival school, and so our friendship really did not start to flourish until I came home from the Marine Corps. And we worked out at the same gym together. We would see each other at school. We went to the same college. We both commuted. And our friendship was just kind of flourishing and growing. And his family didn't know exactly who Mike Panus was until the morning when state police knocked on their door at some godly early time in the morning to let them know that Rich was no longer here because of a drunk driver's decision. So, me being a parent now to an amazing little girl, I understand, the pain that I caused and what I took away from that family is beyond comprehension. And it took a long time for us to kind of start building the healing process. And his dad came and visited me in prison when I was in prison less than a year or so, and that's when the healing started.
And Mike, I know for you, you probably had a lot of regrets from that day. Obviously, one, never drinking, never driving, right?
Yeah.
But I imagine being able to talk to Rich's family, know that you had their support, that was a large part of you letting some of those regrets go. And are you finally free? Do you feel like you're free from those regrets, or do they still kind of haunt you today?
Yeah, I think for a long time, having Rich's family to support me, and I mean, his father came and spoke on my behalf to get out early while I was in prison. They ended up writing a letter when I filed for a complete pardon in the state of Connecticut, and I was granted a complete pardon. So those things I cannot even, the words do not even express how grateful I am for their support to help me move on in my life and carry on their son's legacy and honor him. So this is not really, it's not about me. This is about what I took away from a family and how I can prevent others from making a tragic mistake, and how people can move forward in their life no matter what adversity they go through, that they can overcome anything in life. And that's what I share.
And I just want to ask you one final question, because again, you've kind of been through it a little bit differently than anybody else that I've talked to about this topic, but because you had so much support from Rich's family towards the end and even today, being that you were the one that had decided to drink and drive, being that you did survive and Rich did not. For others who are in maybe the position of Rich's family and they're listening today, maybe they've had somebody pass away in their family due to a drunk driver or an accident like yours, what advice do you have from them from the perspective of you?
I just know that holding on to anger and pain just can consume your life. Believe me, like I cannot put myself in anyone else's shoes and imagine what they're going through, at all. But I'm a very optimistic person that puts a positive spin on pretty much anything in my life, no matter what. And I hold on to emotions, I process it, internalize it, and filter it out and channel it to something positive, which is like the best thing you can do in order to move forward. Because if you're looking too far back or being negative, it takes away from the energy in your life right now. And that's just how I live my life, and that's all I know.
You're living in the moment. Yeah, you're living in the moment, and you're living full out. And that is really how you celebrate Rich's life and your own as you move forward.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mike, yes.
Yeah. No, I just a lot of it has to do, I know I had like two angels looking down on me. I lost my biological mom when I was born, when I was 20 days old. So I just live my life with honor, and I'm the best person because I know both of them are looking down on me, and I have them right on my side at all times. So
you know what? And they're with us today. Even I can feel that. So I want to thank you so much, Mike, for being on today's show. You're an incredible spirit, and we'll be thinking of you as you continue your journey. But thank you so much for being with us today.
No, thank you, Nancy. It was such an honor, and I appreciate it. And thank you so much. And I wish everyone the best of luck. And anyone that wants to reach out to me, they can feel free to get a hold of me. My website is mikepanus.com. I'm on Facebook, Mike Panus Inspiring Lives, and anyone that wants to talk about anything, I can help the best I can. So I can't thank you enough, Nancy.
Thank you so much, and have a great day. Thank you so much for your story. And when we come back, everybody, we're going to be taking your calls again. It's all about letting those regrets in your life go, or reach out to us and let us help you heal from them. Figure out a plan of action to live full out and move forward with a positive outlook for your future. We'll be right back after this break. Having regrets in life is a natural part of experiencing the downs and the ups that life has to offer. But being able to look ahead and have a positive outlook is what you want to shoot for. And it's just figuring out what support you need in your life, what forgiveness you need to have in place so that you can set yourself free to let go of the regrets and live full out.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. Nancy is here as a guide to show you how to rise above obstacles and savor each moment. If you have a question, call in live at 800-333-0001. That's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Thank you again for joining us today. I'm Nancy Solari, and we've been talking about regrets in our life and how to let them go and how to really have the confidence and the freedom to move forward. And those are not lighthearted words. This is a heavy topic, I realize, but no one escapes life without something they wish they could do over, reset the button of life and have another chance, another opportunity. But the thing is we can't go back in the past. We only have today and the possibilities of what could come tomorrow. And so you want to take today to really look around you. Be grateful for what you have. Life is not perfect. Sure, we might wish we had more money, have different relationships, live in a different place, maybe feel as though we want a promotion. Who knows? But the thing is you want to experience life with gratitude in your heart. Because if you're looking backwards or you're constantly looking too far ahead, you might stumble. You might trip and fall. And that's when you make a mistake. That's when you fail, and you don't want to do that either. You want to just let life wash over you. Know that the good and the bad are going to come, and just anticipate that. And when you do, then you're able to let go of the regrets in a way that's natural when you're ready on your time, but they won't haunt you. They won't follow you into the future. You'll know that when you're ready to let them go, you'll be able to. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we have another call on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hello, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for calling in. How can we help you today?
How can I prevent distractions and align my daily routine to allow me to focus on my upcoming goals and to be successful?
So you have goals that you want to be successful, but you're not sure like how to stay on track? Well, the thing is whenever you're in a place where you're overwhelmed, where you're trying to decide which way do I go and how do I prioritize, it really comes down to what is urgent, what is a necessity, and then what are things you wish you could do, you want to do. You do have to prioritize in life, so that's how you don't get distracted. So think about in the day or in a week, what is it that you need to prioritize? What is it that you want to put in place? So for example, if you need to make money for rent or your mortgage, or you need to fulfill a certain commitment in terms of watching children, or if you promise somebody you're going to do something and they're counting on you, those would be in the urgent necessity group. Then if there's things that we want to do, I want to go on a trip, I want to go to the gym, I want to go to a movie. Those are things that you want to do. So it's just about putting things in an order that makes sense. And that's how you prevent yourself from being distracted, and also let people in your life keep you accountable. If you're trying to achieve a goal and you know that things may distract you, things may pull you off track, then let people in your life know what you're trying to achieve so that you don't go off-roading, that you don't allow yourself to self-sabotage or people to influence you negatively. You want to make sure that you are able to stay on track, and that's how you live full out. And I know that as we talk about regrets today, right, we've all been distracted. We've all had moments where we were like, gosh, I just wish I could go back and do it differently. I mean, even I today, I'm legally blind, right? But sure, there's things I wish I could have done in the past, things I could have seen, but that's okay. Life was meant to happen in this way. And if you're watching or listening today and you're experiencing a health condition, same thing. It's not that health condition is out of place or wrong in our life. You were meant to experience it so that you could have gratitude for life, so that you can cherish your role in other people's lives that you contribute to. The thing that I've learned is being legally blind, I may not see everything, but the thing is I know that I have an ability to live on purpose and give. We all have that ability. So as we end today's show, I want you to not focus on the regrets. I want you to think about how can you make somebody else's life better, easier today? What could you do? How could you help them? Maybe it's as simple as calling some up on the phone and just saying, how's your day going? Or, you know what, I love you. Or, I'm just so thankful for your contributions to my life, whatever that would be. Take time today for yourself also. How you let go of regrets is you honor when we make a mistake, when we fail, and you say, that's okay. It's just part of life, and you let it go. That's how you honor yourself and where you're going in life. Most of all, as we look forward, don't forget to dream big, because anything is possible. It may not be the way we initially set out for it to look like. We may have to kind of blend in other ideas. There may be some gray area there, but the thing is I know if you put your passions and your desires into action, you will live your life full out. You will be able to attain those goals and dreams. As we round out today's show, remember that if you need help on today's topic or resources, reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. And if you have an inspirational story like Mike Panus did today with us, please write us. Let us know your story. We'd love to have you on the show. Also, make sure to check out Living Full Out tunes on Alexa and also your iPhone or your Android. We want to support you each and every day. Most of all, our Living Full Out family is here, dedicated each week to motivating you in living your life full out. I want to thank Rich and Aaron and Riley and Amanda and everybody who has taken today to make sure that you are living on purpose. I love you all. I believe in you, and I will see you next week. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Living Full Out Show with Nancy Solari. To learn more about this program, visit livingfullout.com for the latest episodes. Connect with the Living Full Out community by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you have an inspirational story you want to share, email us at connect@livingfullout.com. Here's to you, living full out.
Thank you for watching the Living Full Out YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like button. And if you're interested in the content we provide, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Now, for more inspirational content, click the video on the right to get to know me, Nancy Solari, host of the Living Full Out Show and certified life coach, in more detail. Click the video on the left and you'll be motivated by the Living Full Out radio show and our inspirational guests and callers. Keep in mind, we welcome your comments. If you're empowered, let us know. Feel free to leave a comment. We would enjoy hearing from you. And here's to you, living your life full out.